All right, good afternoon and welcome back to the 43rd Ryder Cup here in Whistling Straits. We are with U.S. Ryder Cup captain Steve Stricker. Steve, we're 24 hours out from not only opening ceremonies, but for some pairings, excuse me. What's your mindset as the week's gone on? I have to imagine things were kind of, you had things in order, but has anything changed since you've been here as you've seen the guys in the golf course?
No, not really. We've stuck to our game plan. Guys are having a great time. They're enjoying Whistling Straits, especially the hospitality here and back at the American Club. It's a great venue for us. Yeah, they had a good time with the wind today. They thought it was fun and interesting to play in that sort of wind. We're trying to prepare for that as best we could and can. Because we don't know what that's going to be like this weekend. And, yeah, so they embraced it and played 9 holes, trying to conserve some energy at this point, I think. But, yeah, our game plan's still firmly in place.
All right, let's hit some questions here. We can start with Gary in 21.
Hey, Steve, the cheeseheads this morning.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No.
Okay, all the Europeans came out in cheeseheads?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if you think, you didn't see it, but...
I didn't.
It's pretty hard for a Wisconsin sports fan to dislike Ian Poulter and Sergio when they were in cheeseheads. I wondered if you think that was a bit of gamesmanship on Padraig's part or just a smart PR move.
No, that's smart on their part. Why wouldn't you, when you come over to foreign soil, try to win some fans over, right? We do the same thing when we go over there. And I'm sure they realize that, we are on U.S. soil and with the travel restrictions and all that, they're trying to round up as many fans as they can, right? And we'd be doing the same thing over there. So, cheeseheads are a staple here, right? You know that, Gary. And so that's cool to see. I saw I think Fleetwood on TV wearing a green and gold hat. So I thought that they were kind of going down the Packer route as well. So good on them and interesting to see, but we'd be doing the same thing, I think, and, trying to get some fans.
Doug,
Speaking of which, Strick, I'm going to ask something else, but when you saw Fleetwood, did he not look like Aaron Rodgers to you?
Yeah, someone else said that in our team room, too, that Aaron Rodgers and Tommy Fleetwood look a lot alike all of a sudden. They probably both wish they had each other's game, on the football field, and Aaron, I'm sure, had Tommy's game on the course. So, but they do look a lot alike.
This is a big hypothetical, I realize, but it's also in play. If somebody were to get injured or go down, COVID or otherwise, before the opening ceremonies, and you're allowed a substitute, are any of your assistant captains ready to play?
I don't know if they brought their clubs. No, and knock on wood, we talked about, briefly a week or two ago on who we'd bring in, but we really haven't. I mean, we haven't gone down that road anymore. I mean, we're trying to be safe, like I said yesterday, and we all want to play this event. All the guys want to be a part of this team, and it's a special event to be a part of, and they work their whole entire careers to be part of something like this. So, we haven't really thought outside that box yet, and hopefully we don't have to.
And then one last thing, I saw something on the message board in the press center about it, kind of a message from you and Padraig on fan behavior, and if it crosses the line, then the person faces rejection. Where did that come from? And secondly, was it at all mirrored anything that Jay had said, Monahan, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think these golf organizations are on board with each other, and they work with each other. They're in this together. And they're just trying to come up with the right way to handle those types of situations. And, I think that's what we're going to see moving forward. What Jay said in his State of the Union address, and, the PGA, I know, talk closely with Jay and the PGA Tour, and they're just trying to tackle this potential problem together and handle it, equally the same across both organizations.
Thank you.
We're going right back here, number 20, Rob.
Steve.
Sorry, where am I?
Right here.
Oh, Rob.
You have a pretty good Ryder Cup history with Ian Poulter. He was in earlier. Can you talk about maybe what makes him tick, or what made him tick in the encounters that you had with him personally? And if you were a football coach, would we be asking you how to contain Ian Poulter this week?
Yeah, and if we knew how, it's one of those questions. We don't know, how to contain him, I guess. We've had a difficult time. I played him in a singles match back at Valhalla, I think, and lost to him. He's a tough competitor, and this brings out the very best in him. He seems to make some very crucial putts, hit crucial shots when he needs to, and just rises to the occasion. And it seems like he plays better at the Ryder Cup than he does at any other PGA Tour event throughout the year, right? So he just elevates his game to another level, and he's kind of the backbone of that team at times. So yeah, he'd be a good guy that if we could figure out, and hopefully we can this year, to give him a couple losses for a change, but it's tough to do. He's like I said, very tough.
Over here on your left, Steve. Jeff, number 19.
Steve, you watched Patrick and Xander play together in Australia. They've been together a couple sessions here. In the off chance they were to be paired, what do you like about that tandem?
First of all, they're good friends. They get along very well with each other. They've played some, cup golf together in the President's Cup. They just enjoy being around each other, and that's half the battle when you try to pair guys up. And each of their games complements the other one, and that's another thing when you put guys together, especially in foursomes, that you want their games to complement each other's, and theirs do.
And have you learned a lot about Patrick in his last year or so run up to this event?
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah.
He's Patty Ice. That's what he is, right? And he plays great. He's got a calm demeanor about him, a killer mentality. When he gets somebody down, he really wants to keep them down, it seems like. And we're getting to know him a lot more. I got to know him last year or 2 years ago in the President's Cup, or I guess it was last year. And getting to know him a little bit more this year. So, yeah, just a good guy to be around and a heck of a player.
Okay, over on your right, Rex, 3.
Patrick has made the same bet that Thomas did before him, that he'll get a tattoo if Europe wins. Would you get a tattoo if the U.S. wins?
What's my tattoo got to be?
Whatever you want it to be.
Oh, really? Well,
Thomas was the score, so I would assume that's where you would go.
Well, yeah, we've discussed tattoos in our room. The problem is, though, my girls, my wife and kids have always asked me to get a tattoo, and I'm like, I'm not putting any decals on my body, kind of thing. And so, yeah, I'd have to check with them first, I think, to see if I could actually get a tattoo, from the Ryder Cup. I had an idea. The players gave me an idea that what I could put on there. I told them where I was going to put it. It was going to go right on my cheek, and. So we'll see what brings about that. We may have a tattoo artist guy come in on Sunday night. I don't know, one way or the other, it may happen.
Love it. Mark, that's 6. Go ahead.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Can you, you're so associated with this state, and I'm just kind of curious if you can express what your anticipation for this week has been, dating back to the moment you knew that you were going to be the captain.
Yeah, first of all, it's just a relief that it's here. For a while, it was a question whether we were going to be able to play it, whether we were going to play it at all, whether we were going to play it with fans. I was on calls. I don't know how many times I've said this week, but throughout the last couple of years, dealing with all of that above what I just said, and thankfully we're going to play it with fans. My thing from the get-go was like, what a crime it would be to play this unbelievable event without fans, especially here in Wisconsin that's never, had the opportunity to experience this Ryder Cup. So, first of all, it's just a relief, I guess, that we're here and finally that it is here. 3 years has been a long time, but yet all of a sudden it seems like it went by really quick. I'm sure we all, as we get older, it all seems to happen that way for some reason. But just grateful that it's here, grateful for the opportunity to be doing it. And finally, I wish Friday morning was tomorrow morning already. So, but again, I don't want to wish it to go by super fast so you don't get to enjoy it. So we're trying to take it all in as a team and enjoy each other and enjoy the relationships, and we're having fun with it. Guys have been unbelievable. They've come together so well in the last couple weeks, so extremely excited and to finally get out there and watch them play.
Right next door, number 5.
Steve, your keyword seems to have been preparation. We hear that word a lot from you. And I was curious, does that extend to your players? And what I mean by that is, do they know who they're going to play with already? And if the answer is yes, I'm curious how early they knew that.
Yeah, we have that down. I mean, we went over this Monday. I wanted the guys to know what the plan was for Friday on Monday so we can prepare that way. And I think that's something that in previous teams that I've learned, the communication part, getting guys to understand their position and their roles. So we've taken a lot of time and energy in trying to talk to these guys and define both their roles and tell them what we expect from them and what they expect from us, kind of thing. So that's been a huge part of what's been going on, and we went over that on Monday, and we're working towards Fridays already.
Same neighborhood, 7.
Thank you.
A year ago this time, obviously, Jordan's positioning right in the world rankings and all this stuff, and he said himself he didn't think that he was in the picture, to be on this team a year ago. And I wonder, from your perspective at that time, how you were looking at him and what you were thinking about the possibility of having to, say, make captain's picks and leave off a guy like Jordan Spieth.
Well, and I've talked to him, and he's talked to me about it, that, if it wasn't for this extra year, I don't know if Jordan would have been on the team. But first of all, when I look at Jordan, I look at him as a friend. I've played golf with him. I was a teammate of his years ago back in a President's Cup at Muirfield Village. We're friends. I wish him the best, and I'm always looking at where's Jordan, how's he playing, all that kind of stuff. So I'm always rooting for him. And so it was good to see that he, turned his game around this year and got in a position to make the team because, Jordan's an important part of a team. He brings a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm to a team, and he's great in the team room, and it's a guy that you want in there, and we're fortunate to have him in there.
From your perspective, just the kind of resiliency it takes to go kind of from that far down to this high up in that short of a period, can you put that in perspective?
Yeah, I mean, that's golf, right? We all I've experienced it, and you can go either two ways. You can kind of give up and go home, or you can just work a little bit harder and try to bust through it and get better. And sometimes you come out of those slumps even better than you went, than you were before. So you learn a lot from those poor times, and I'm sure Jordan, learned a lot about himself and his game, his family, friends, all that kind of stuff you learn about. So he's going to come out of it strong. He's got a tremendous amount of talent, and so I just look forward to seeing him just to keep improving, really. I mean, his confidence level is back, and he just continues to get better and better all the time.
Okay, we have time for about 3 more. We're going to start here at 24, right back here.
My question was asked, so go ahead.
Oh, it was just asked, all right. Doug,
It was
26.
asked.
Good. Steve, I had a couple of questions about the envelope. In your 3 Ryder Cups that you played, did you ever volunteer your name for it? That's question 1.
I did not, no.
Okay,
And I never knew who was in the envelope in all the times that I've played on the Ryder Cup. I never knew who the person was in there.
I'm not sure it does. There's a high level of secrecy, obviously. So when you have to make those decisions for either envelope, I guess in this case, how do you go about the process, and who's going to know who's in the envelope?
Yeah, I don't know if I've never experienced the envelope. I've never been a part of it, really. I think the teams that I've been an assistant captain on for these Ryder Cups, I don't remember a lot sometimes, but I don't remember being a part of that. Who goes in the envelope. I'll probably ask my assistants, I mean, you want to make sure you put the right guy in there, even though there is no right guy, it seems like, right? It doesn't seem like a very good place to be in that envelope. But, you want to make sure that, and now this year we got more, right? We got to put actually 2 envelopes of 3 guys, a total of 3 guys. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not a great thing to do.
So would you talk to your assistants, but
Yeah.
can you get a sense that you would be the only one who actually
Yeah, I don't know.
knows?
Yeah, probably will talk to my assistants and then probably not even tell them who I put in there. Because again, you don't want to have anybody know that they went in the envelope. At least I wouldn't want to know if I was in there, and I probably was in there at some point. I probably should have been in there in 2012, so. Or Tiger and I both should have been in there the way we played. But anyways, we'll take it from there.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to beam out captain to Steve DiMiglio. Steve, go ahead. You're with the captain.
Strix, have you learned anything about your team, whether on the golf course or in the team room, or anything about the course that you didn't know about on Monday?
The wind for the golf course, the wind has proved to be a challenge because we're going to see a completely opposite wind come the tournament. We've been playing with a northerly wind, and then it's going to switch out of the south and go to the west. So we're going to see something totally different come Friday. I guess, and I don't mean this. I don't mean to keep blowing smoke up my team's cheeks, like we talked about earlier, but I think I knew they were close, but they're close. They're really close. I think they've played so much golf together growing up on the same college teams together. They play a lot of social golf together. I mean, this team is really close. So that's hasn't surprised me to some degree, but the level of how close they are has surprised me, I guess. And, that's a good thing. That's what I wanted from day one is a family-type atmosphere and everybody to get along, and hopefully that leads to good play.
Thanks, Steve. All right, we're going to wrap her up here. Number 8, that's Adam.
Steve, you mentioned the friendship of Patrick and Xander, and it's pretty similar with Justin and Jordan. I'm just curious, do the stats back up that they're really good pairings? And in general, how much are you relying on stats this week?
Yeah, the stats do back it up, for sure. As far as how much I'm relying on it, I relied a lot on it, leading up to the picks. I wanted to make sure that the guys I was thinking about for the picks and what kind of picks would go well with the current 6 guys that had already made the team. So we were looking at pairings quite a bit. So I used quite a bit of stats for that, and then some of my gut feeling on that as well. What personalities, mesh well with each other. As we go forward, it's kind of less and less stats all the time. Watching these guys play, get an understanding of how well they're playing here right now. Stats and playing here are, could be 2 different things. So trying to get a feel for those guys, how they're getting along with their potential partners, how they're playing right here. That's kind of now what we're doing. A little bit of stats, that's kind of gone away, and now just kind of watching golf and going with our guts and what we're seeing out here and what we've seen, in previous years with these guys.
All right, Captain. Thanks so much for being
Thanks,
with
guys.
us,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you
See you.
tomorrow.